Hello boys and girls, and today's story is Princess Mirrorbelle and the Dragon Pox. Another story by Julia Donaldson. Ellen had chicken pox. She was covered in spots. "You mustn't scratch them," said Mum. Ellen put on her right slipper. She had lost the left one, and went to look at her spots in the bathroom mirror. The spot on her nose was so itchy. Surely a tiny little scratch wouldn't do any harm. Ellen lifted a finger to her nose. Then she jumped, when a voice from the mirror said, "Don't scratch. You might turn into a toad." Could this really be happening? Could Ellen's reflection really be talking to her? Before Ellen could reply, the mirror girl went on. "You've got really bad dragon pox." "No, I haven't," said Ellen. "I've got chicken pox. And so have you. You're my reflection." "Don't be silly," said the mirror girl. And the next second she had jumped out of the mirror and was in the bathroom with Ellen. "I'm Princess Mirrorbelle. You really ought to curtsy, but as you're my friend, I'll let you off." "Are you really a princess?" asked Ellen. "But you look like me." "You've got same pyjamas. You've lost one of your slippers like me." "Oh, no, I haven't," said Mirrorbelle. She paused for a second and then continued. "My slipper was stolen by a goblin. They're always stealing slippers. They like to sleep in them." Ellen laughed. "Do you have little sheets of pillows for them?" she said. "Never mind that," said Mirrorbelle. "We need to get on with a cure for dragon pox." And she put the plug in the bath and turned on the taps. "But I haven't got dragon pox," said Ellen. "Well, I have," said Mirrorbelle firmly. "You see, a dragon captured me last week and carried me off to his mountain lair. Luckily, a knight came and rescued me. But when I got home, I came out in these terrible dragon pox." "Did the knight want to marry you?" asked Ellen. But Mirrorbelle seemed not to hear. "Now then," said Mirrorbelle, "on with the cure. This stuff looks good." She grabbed a bottle of the bubble bath and squirted it into the water. Then, "How odd!" she exclaimed, as hundreds of bubbles appeared. "Don't you have bubble bath back home?" asked Ellen. "Certainly not," said Mirrorbelle. "But we do have bubble fish. They're much better. They swim about in the bath and blow thousands of bubbles." "But isn't the bath water a bit hot for fish?" asked Ellen. "Never mind that," said Mirrorbelle. "Let's get in." "We need some more ingredients," said Mirrorbelle. Then, when they were both in the bath, "Let's try this." Before Ellen could stop her, she had squirted a whole tube of toothpaste into the water. How are we going to clean our teeth now? Ellen protested. But can't you get the fairies to clean your teeth? Asked Mirrorbelle. No, I don't know any fairies. And what would they use for toothpaste? Well, our fairies collect dewdrops from rose petals and use that, said Mirrorbelle. How does it stick on the toothbrush? Asked Ellen. I do wish you wouldn't ask so many questions, said Mirrorbelle. Let's get on with the cure. How about this? And she squirted in some white foam from a spray can. Stop! Cried Ellen. That's my dad's shaving cream. Well, I think he should stop shaving like my father the king, said Mirrorbelle. Does your father have a beard then? Asked Ellen. Of course he does. It's so long it reaches the ground. He needs 2 servants to walk ahead to carry it. And sometimes birds make their nest in it. Ellen laughed. And do the birds fly in and out feeding worms to the babies? She asked. Mirrorbelle didn't reply. Instead, she poured a bottle of shampoo into the bath. How will we wash our hair now? Asked Ellen. I wouldn't bother washing it, said Mirrorbelle. When my hair gets dirty, I just say a magic spell and wish for some different hair. My hair doesn't always look like yours, you know. Last week I had golden curls, and the week before I had red ringlets. I'd love to do that, said Ellen. What's the magic spell? I'll tell you later, said Mirrorbelle, and she splashed some foamy, creamy, frothy, toothpastey bathwater at Ellen. Ellen giggled and splashed some back. This was beginning to be fun. But then she noticed the bathroom floor was getting really wet from all of the splashing. Oh dear, my mum will be a bit cross, she said. Really? How peculiar. My mother, the Queen, is cross if I don't splash water on the floor. In fact, she likes me to splash it so much that the bathroom floor is like a paddling pool. Then she paddles about in it to wash her feet. And so do all of the palace maids. Does the water drip down onto the floor below? Asked Ellen. I thought I told you to stop asking questions, said Mirrorbelle. Now, it's time to get dry and put our pyjamas back on. But we're still all spotty, said Ellen, as she put on her slipper. The cure hasn't worked. Ah, that's because we haven't done part 2 yet, said Mirrorbelle. What's part 2? Asked Ellen. This. Mirrorbelle picked up a roll of loo paper and started to wind it round and round Ellen, who laughed. What about you? She asked. We'll do me later, said Mirrorbelle, carrying on winding. Before long, Ellen's whole body was covered, and Mirrorbelle had started on her face. Then close your eyes and count to 100, she said. So Ellen did. 98, 99, 100. Ellen ripped the paper off her face and opened her eyes. "Where are you, Mirrorbelle?" she asked. She looked around the empty room and saw the door handle was moving. But it wasn't Mirrorbelle. Instead, Ellen's mum came into the room. "Ellen, what have you been doing here?" she said, as she looked at the watery, foamy room and all the empty tubes and bottles. "It wasn't me. It was Princess Mirrorbelle," said Ellen. "She came out of the mirror. She was trying to cure my my chicken pox." "Oh, I suppose she's gone back in the mirror now," said Ellen's mum. Ellen looked at the mirror over the basin. It was covered in toothpastey bubbles. "Yes, I think she has," Ellen said. Ellen's mum sighed. Then she looked at Ellen. "Actually, your spots do look quite a bit better. That one on your nose has disappeared. And look," she added, picking something out of the basin. "Here's your left slipper." Ellen said nothing, but she smiled as she put the slipper on. She knew that it wasn't really her slipper. It belonged to Princess Mirrorbelle. And that is the end of our story today. And I look forward to reading another story to you next week. See you all later. Bye.